by the Iroquois. The French called it lacrosse. For us, it was first a spiritual game given to us by a game between the animals and the birds. The ball is the medicine. It's always been the medicine, and it is what determines which side wins or loses. It's a game that's a legacy from our people to yours.
This game is being brought to you in part by the deal makers from the Heritage Auto Group, Owings Mills, Bel Air, Randallstown, and York Road. By Pizza Hut. You'll love the stuff we're made of. Pizza Hut. By the Mount Washington Tavern, where you can mingle with the lacrosse greats and near greats of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. By Lax World, the complete lacrosse store for all your lacrosse needs. And by Health Rider, the total body fitness machine. From Homewood Field, it's the unbeaten Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins University versus the Greyhounds of Loyola, who are 10-2. Hi, this is Jim West along with Clint Kesnick, and this afternoon, this windy but clear afternoon at Hopkins, the Blue Jays are going to try to stay undefeated. Can they at the expense of Loyola?
I think it's going to be a good one. Two crosstown rivals right up Charles Street. The schools are about a mile apart. 10-2 versus 11-0. Last year, Loyola beat Hopkins. Anything can happen in this rivalry. I think this is going to be one of the best games of the year.
Both teams will be in the playoffs. Just how high will Loyola go? We'll find out in just a few moments. Well, here we go with the face-off as Hopkins and Loyola go at it. Hopkins all winning, Loyola with just 2 losses. And one of the important aspects of this game, obviously, Quint, will be the face-offs. Let's see if Jamie Hanford can handle the situation as he takes on Peter Jacobs.
You notice Hanford faces off with a long stick. He's one of the only players in the country who faces off full time with that long stick.
And in this case, Loyola did come up with the ball. And obviously, they're going to try to control that ball as long as they can every time they have possession.
Take a look at the starting lineups. Duffy, O'Shea, and Georgalis on attack. It's a very young attack. None of those players actually have played attack prior to this season. The midfield, number 24 with the ball. This is the main threat for Loyola. Zach Thornton, take a look at the defense. Hanford, Fry, Lloyd, McGeaney, and Matt Dewan, number 12. You'll see a lot of defense also.
So here's Loyola on the attack as they carry it in. Tim O'Shea with the ball behind the goal as they try the give-and-go routine. Brian Duffy over on the far side, number 2. As pursuing him is Aaron Van Horn. Loyola moving it again. Tim O'Shea to the outside, moves all the way outside the box as he gets it across to Mark O'Brien. There's the series lead, and of course the one win that Loyola got was last year, a 17-15 barn burner at Loyola.
That was a wonderful game last year, played in torrential rain up at Curley Field at Loyola. Both teams scoring at will that whole game. I think today's game will be a lot slower tempo. Look for Loyola to try to control the ball as we see right now. They're going to take their time with it. They're going to use the clock, and they want a low-scoring game.
Brian Duffy getting back out of the box across to Del Halliday. Halliday from British Columbia. Moving into the box and passing over onto the near side. Once again, Tim O'Shea looking for the way to set it up. They set a screen for him as he tries to hurry around to the far side, passing it out to the top of the box once again, where Mark O'Brien has the ball. He tries to edge his way in with a shot that is deflected wide. And here on the near side, it's a 2-on-1 for Hopkins as the ball is still in bounds and still being contested. And Hopkins comes away with it as it's picked up by Aaron Van Horn, and there's a whistle.
It's going to be a push against Hopkins, and Loyola will control. I spoke to Coach Cottle before the game. He said Loyola is going to play very hard. You could see it evident there. When the ball was loose, you saw 2 green jerseys. You saw a couple white ones, but Loyola gaining the second chance offensive opportunity.
Brian Baxo with the ball, top of the box, number 9, cranking up for, it looked like a left-handed shot attempt, but instead he thinks better of it and drops it off to Zach Thornton. Zach, the great soccer goalie, and a pretty good lacrosse player, too. Back behind the goal, Abel Kahn on him as the ball rolls free, and Brian Duffy picks it up, sending it out once more. There is a shot that is wide, and that time it was Del Halliday, the guy from British Columbia, who let it go.
That's the guy you got to keep your eye on inside for Loyola. Del Halliday, 30 goals, 10 assists. He's from Victoria, British Columbia. He's all right-handed. You'll never see him put the stick in his left hand. He knows how to cut off the ball. When he doesn't have it, he's one of the finest midfielders in the game.
Waiting out at the top of the box right now is Brian Smith, fresh in. He's on the second midfield. There are two Brian Smiths, by the way, but he's the one whose name is likely to pop up more often. And with the ball now for Loyola is the aforementioned Dale Halliday. Back out once more to Brian Smith. Smith goes right hand to left and then sends it back to the top of the box. And here's Halliday trying to work his way in and being ridden pretty effectively to the outside, for the moment at least, by Abel Khan. So,
Loyola has controlled the ball now for 3 minutes. They put 2 shots on goal. Hopkins has yet to see the ball on offense.
There's a shot over the goal and a good hustle on the part of goaltender Jonathan Marcus, and he covered, and Hopkins gets the ball. So for the first time in this young game, the Blue Jays are going to get it into the attack zone, and here they come as Billy Evans lugs it in to the box and passes to the far side. Peter Jacobs sending it off behind the goal. And here comes Marchant. Marchant shouldering in, cranking up, taking a shot, blocked out nicely. And another shot goes over the crossbar. Back to cover is Dave Marr.
Take a look at the Hopkins starting lineup. Pacole, Marr, and Reardon. Marchant, Jacobs, Evans. Hopkins likes to play 3 midfield units, and we'll see some of the other fellows later. There's Kuzma, Van Horn, and Carney, and Marcus, of course, in the goal.
Dave Marr being worked here by Chris Lloyd. Pretty good confrontation. And then he finally gets it across on the far side to Billy Evans. Evans working his way around, looking to get a shot away into a severe angle and has to give it up. Brian Paccola. Coming in to cover him is Brendan Fry. And this is something we'll watch throughout the afternoon. Number 9 for Hopkins and number 8 Fry for Loyola. A confrontation that we've been told to expect, and there you see them working. Paccola trying to break free, muscling his way in, getting the shot away weakly, but there's a flag.
That's going to be a pushing violation again for these two teams. Reardon had 7 goals. Paccola only had 1. Fry did an outstanding job. This is one of Paccola's strengths, though. His strength and the fact that he draws a lot of fouls. Every game we see Brian Paccola getting his team extra man opportunities. And there was another example where he leaned in, drew the push foul. He'll also draw a lot of holds, and now Hopkins will be up for 30 seconds.
Both these teams tend to do well in extra man situations. Let's see how the Blue Jays do as we find the first such situation in this lacrosse game. Scoreless so far. Paccola feeds. Off the cross to Casey Gordon, back out to Paccola, and once more to the top of the box. Here's the big guy, Reardon, dropping it off behind once more to Marr. Marr comes right around, shoots, score! Hopkins leads it 1-0.
Beating McGeaney low. That's a little head game that Loyola's trying to play with Marr. They'd rather see Marr take this shot than Reardon from the other side, but Marr really burns him right there with his 19th goal of the year to go with 53 points. You know, you look at this attack, you've got 57 points, 53 points, and 55 points among the trio.
And if you have a guy like Marr carrying the ball, there's always the threat, of course, that he's going to pass off to Paccola or Reardon, and perhaps they just play him a little less tight.
Yeah, and he's done a great job of that this year with 19 goals. He draws the worst defender on the opposing team, and he capitalizes. He's shooting a lot better, and he's picking his spots.
Jamie Hanford, number 5 for Loyola, against Peter Jacobs, number 24. Hanford wins a faceoff, races into the box, and feeds it off. There's a, what do you call that, a worm burner. And here, quickly, the Blue Jays turn it right around. Peter Jacobs with it. Jacobs feeds it off. Gets away from Reardon, and let's see whose ball it's going to be. It's going to be Loyola ball. I didn't know whether Reardon.
Job by Chris Lloyd, number 17 for Loyola. It's extending the defense adjacent and really forcing Reardon to drop that pass. As the ball was going towards Reardon's stick, Lloyd tapped his butt end, moving the stick head, and the ball rolled out of bounds.
All right, the Loyola Greyhounds now are changing middies, so they'll bide their time until they do. 1-0 Hopkins. And the pass is out to the newcomer to the field, Brian Duffy. Duffy, number 2, working his way into the right side. As you see, coming over to get all over him is Abel Khan. Now Duffy passes off, and here's a shot and a save on a bouncer that gets away, as once again it looked like Mark O'Brien was going to get one into the net. And the flags fly everywhere here on the near side.
That's going to be a foul against Loyola. Number 29, Mark O'Brien. He got the Hopkins player high. Now watch his save here. Mark is holding his ground, taking it off the chest, and then it's a free-for-all in front of the goal. Loose ball. There's no foul right there. Hopkins, the coaching staff, wanted to push there. Nothing called. And now watch right there, up in the helmet area, and that's a call that these officials have really done a nice job this year cracking down on. You're not allowed to hit the player in the helmet with a fist, an elbow, or the stick, and that's a minute violation.
Perhaps he did that out of frustration because it was Mark O'Brien who a moment before that you see right now, who had taken the shot that was stopped by Marcus, and perhaps frustration played a part in that. Back to the action then with Hopkins in the lead and with the ball. The bouncer just outside the box is picked up by Dave Marr, the man who has the only goal of this game. Billy Evans with the ball now. Cross. Here is Reardon. His blast is on and stopped. Rebound is picked up by Marr. Wanted to shoot. Changed his mind. Evans goes in. Shoots, and another good save. As it's picked out of there nicely and cleared beautifully by Tim McGeaney, the goaltender for Loyola. Weaving his way out of there now is Matt Dwan, who's a very versatile player. Kicked away at the center of the field, and looks like it's going to be Hopkins' ball on the whistle.
No, actually, it's going to be an offsides call against Brian Piccola. As he was reaching over to check Dwan, he stepped on the line. Rich Tamburino, the official, right there to make the call. Very physically intense game. Take a look at the sidelines. Dwan loves to run the ball up the field, and that time he probably should have given it up. This is McGeaney. This is a beautiful save. This is not where you want to shoot on McGeaney. He's excellent down low at his feet. You can see there how he flopped down to the turf. He got his stick on the turf. That's not where you want to shoot the ball. Against McGeaney, you want to fake it low and pop it to the upper corners because he tends to drop down low.
Here's Zach Thornton carrying the ball in and taking the return pass at the top of the box. Zach waiting for a new man in. Brian Baxo is the man, number 9. And off behind the goal is that was George Alice who had it back behind there. Greyhounds methodically setting it up here. Once again, Baxo. Now Hopkins man coming up as time runs out, and the teams are at equal strength as Zach Thornton's shot takes over across the cross bar, and Loyola will maintain control.
You can see the quickness and strength of number 24, Zach Thornton, freeing himself up for that outside shot. He likes to shoot high. You'll rarely see Thornton bounce the ball.
Ball knocked away by Hopkins, rolling toward the out of bounds across the way. It'll be Loyola ball. 7:45 remaining in the first quarter. Hopkins with the only goal of the game so far.
That's Dave Cottle, head coach at Loyola, with his staff. I think overall these two staffs are the two finest in college lacrosse today because of the depth of each staff. Coach Cottle has got some excellent assistants, as does Tony Seaman. And top to bottom, these are the two best staffs.
Pass off behind the goal. Brian Duffy with it now. Working him is Aaron Van Horn. Duffy number 2, Van Horn number 6. Duffy out to the top of the box. Zach Thornton there giving ground now. Looking to weave his way in, shouldering his way in, and then passing off behind the goal once more where Tim O'Shea picks it up. Loyola methodically setting it up. There's a shot that takes off, and it'll still go Loyola ball.
Halliday likes to shoot. He's got 57 shots on the season. Dangerous right-handed player, much in the mold of the typical Canadian player that you'll see in the Major Indoor Lacrosse League, much like a Paul or a Gary Gate, although he doesn't have that kind of size.
Well matched so far, these two teams, and this one is blocked but picked up once more by Brian Duffy, so Loyola stays on the attack. Back out to the top of the box where Brian Baxo has the ball. Baxo moving his way in, cranking up for a left-handed shot, feeds it off instead to Zach Thornton. Zach working against Brian Kuzma. Here's Thornton with a great try and a great stop. And here come the Blue Jays. Still 1-0 Hopkins. 6:25 remaining in the first quarter. Number 40 for Hopkins is Werner Kruger, feeding it off behind the goal. Here on the near side is Brian Piccola, who scores.
Phenomenal pinpoint shot by Piccola, beating McGeaney. 38th goal on the season. This is Marr feeding Piccola. Watch the accuracy of this shot. It's just incredible. That's his favorite spot. And watch the ball just nestle itself inside the pipe. The accuracy there is beautiful. Here's another low angle shot. You'll be right behind Piccola. Check out this accuracy. Boom, right over the shoulder of McGeaney up into that corner. Just a tremendous shot. You know, Piccola, for all the attention Reardon's been getting this year, Piccola is only 1 point behind Reardon as far as total points for this season.
Well, they'll be running 1-2, of course, for school all-time records when this season is over. They already are. There's an errant pass that gets out of bounds. A little loose play that time by Loyola, so Hopkins will take over.
That's an area of the game that Hopkins has really stepped up this season as far as stopping the opponents when they clear the ball. And that comes down as conditioning, really, by the attack. Marr, Piccola, and Reardon, they're in better shape this year. They're able to run and create second chance opportunities.
Certainly the tremendous shape of the Blue Jays was never more evident than in the final quarter of last Saturday night's game against Towson State. Here's Piccola. He scores again. They're not going to allow the goal. The goal is disallowed.
They said he stepped in the crease. Piccola, you can see he wasn't happy with the call. He's one of the more vocal players. Take a look at it. You can make it's the red line. Keep your eye on that red line right there with the left foot, right foot. We didn't get a good view. Matt Dwan, number 12, was in the way. But I think that right foot caught the line. Take a look at it again. Here it is. The low angle shot. And again, we're not going to be able to see. He jumps. The ball goes in. You're allowed to fall in after the ball goes in the net. But I guess they said his right foot stepped on that red line.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good call. So it's still 2-0 Hopkins as they disallow that apparent goal by Brian Piccola. And here are the Loyola Greyhounds. Del Halliday is number 14. He's the fellow we mentioned earlier that's so dangerous, guy from British Columbia. Zach Thornton rejoins them. Thornton looking for a pass. In too deep for a shot. Out once more to the top of the box. They'll set it up again with Mark O'Brien. He shoots. Oh, a nice save by Jonathan Marcus. Beauty.
Low percentage shot by Loyola. Marcus just taking that short hop and outletting to Gordon.
So the Blue Jays leading 2-0 are on the move again. There's a shot and a save. As getting that one away was Andrew Godfrey. And there's a scramble here on the near side. Hopkins maintaining control as it's picked up by Piccola. Marr juggles, then takes it back, gives it once more to Piccola, who's on target this time, but a good save once more. Got a couple of pretty good goalkeepers here in this game. Still Hopkins' ball.
Well, those are two examples of really forced shots. O'Brien for Loyola with a real easy save for Marcus, outletting the ball, and then McGeaney. I thought Piccola went to the well once too often on that last shot. There was a clear path. McGeaney was all over it, and the accuracy wasn't there. It pegged him right in the chest. Timmy McGeaney looking for his third year as an All-American at Loyola. 68.5% save percentage, really one of the tops in the country.
The dangerous Terry Reardon with Hanford on him. Reardon shot high and stopped, and then it's deflected into the goal. But it will. Is it going to count? No.
That's the correct call right there. That's interference with the goalie. McGeaney had that ball in his stick, in his crease. That'll be a free clear, actually, for Loyola. Take a look at it again. Reardon making this shot high. McGeaney looking very sharp here. Watch him. You'll see him control this rebound, and right there, Tommy Roscoe nails his stick, and the ball goes into the goal. That's not a goal. Excellent call again by the official. That's the second goal that's taken away from Hopkins, but with good reason.
If memory serves, you can bat it out of a hockey goalie's glove into a net, but not in this situation. So despite the fact that 4 balls have gone into the net in this game, it's still 2-0.
We got a too many men violation called against Loyola, so they'll turn it over to Hopkins. Still 2-0.
2-0 Blue Jays. The official goals have come from Dave Marr and Brian Piccola.
Sloppy clearing by Hopkins. Van Horn not controlling that ball, so now we switch yet again. So 2 mental mistakes. This is a big game right here. I think these players are keyed up for this game. This game really means more for Loyola, actually, than it does for Hopkins. I think Hopkins has clinched that first seed overall on first round bye. I think Loyola, with a win, could vault as high as 5 or 6. With a disappointing loss, they might even drop down to 9 or 10.
So in that respect, I certainly would have to agree with you, but obviously Hopkins, having come this far, would not like to see an undefeated season come up with a loss here in the last game of the regular season.
No, but a loss is certainly not the end of their season,
no,
and it might be a wake-up call for the playoffs.
It could be. You have a good point, Quint. All right, let's watch this one as Brian Baxo tries to carry it in. It gets away back there and is racing after it is Chris Georgalis, but he can't catch up with it. It'll be Hopkins' ball.
The Hopkins defense doing a nice job here in the first quarter. Loyola has controlled the tempo. They've controlled the ball. They've outshot Hopkins, and yet they haven't scored yet. They're protecting Marcus well. The Loyola shots, they've had some quantity, but the quality really hasn't been there.
So here come the Blue Jays as the swift Chris Steer races into the attack zone. Carries it into the box out on the far side. Feeding it across to Terry Reardon. Reardon juggling for position. Gets it to Piccola. Piccola looked like he wanted to crank up that right-handed shot. Now gives ground to the top of the box. Feeds it into the middle, but it bounces away from Chris Macon. And Macon has to go all the way out to midfield to try to come up with the ball. And it is going to be an offside call.
It's going to be an offside against Loyola. You can argue that the player was pushed, but the ref right there to make the call. Hopkins will maintain possession. That's Terry Reardon. All-time leading scorer, actually tied with Mike O'Neill right now.
Bearing down on Jamie Hanford, who is their face-off man and who's got the tough task of trying to control Reardon here. He feeds and it trickles to the goal and is flipped out of there. Here on the right side, Loyola picking it up as Brian Volpe has a lot of trouble with it. That gets it ahead. And then it's flicked away, and the Blue Jays have it once more as Todd Kearney comes up with the ball and sends it off near side to Aaron Van Horn. Field wide pass from Van Horn finds the stick of Chris Macon. Macon into the box. 2-0, the Blue Jays leading. Just a shade over 2 minutes left in the first quarter of this game, and we aren't supposed to be too surprised, evidently, of the low scoring nature, because it was figured from the outset Loyola would try to play ball control and keep it out of the hands of Hopkins as long as they could. But here is Piccola, and his shot is wide left.
Shot out of bounds to the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays back it up. They'll still have the ball. And a timeout is called with Hopkins in the lead, 2-0.
Set the record all-time for the NCAA total. And Piccola about to surpass Franz Wittelsberger's also. So Piccola and Reardon will end up 1 and 2.
So all in one season, Wittelsberger finds himself dropping from first to third on the all-time list.
Nice crowd on hand here. A lot of Loyola fans. As if you're not familiar with the Baltimore area, Loyola is only about a mile and a half from the Hopkins campus. So this is a real close proximity rivalry.
And here on the Hopkins campus, a shot is wide by Dave Marr, picked up behind the goal by Brian Piccola. Marr and Piccola, the two goal getters in this game. There's Terry Reardon. Boy, he was bidding for the right side that time, but it just missed. And it'll be out of bounds to Loyola.
It's a nice job by Loyola defensively. They gave Reardon the shot there, but you could see his angle was a bit too severe, and he was about at 12 yards. If Reardon gets that same shot about 5 yards in front of the goal with the entire goal to shoot at, he's deadly. But Loyola really neutralized that shot.
Just about a minute and 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter of this 2-0 game with Hopkins in the lead. Jamie Hanford has the ball on the far side, and he makes a good clear down to Mark O'Brien. O'Brien just barely in the box over on the far side, drops it out once more to Del Halliday.
You can hear Hopkins assistant coach Dave Petramali yelling instructions to his players.
9 times out of 10, if you hear a voice down there, it's going to be Petro. Pat Irvin with the ball for Loyola. Working on him is Brian Kuzma. That's a feed. And once again, it is Brian Duffy trying to work his way in for a shot as Aaron Van Horn rides him to the outside. Here's one in the middle that gets away, but retrieved nicely by Loyola's Pat Irvin, and the shot pass in the middle is broken up. Anybody's ball, and the Blue Jays say we'll take it. Carried out of there by Brian Kuzma. Kuzma goes on with it. Hanging on to the ball, now finally feeding it off, getting it to Peter Jacobs. Jacobs every now and then likes to get in with a shot. Usually he's more likely to come into the other side, but he blasts it away from this side, and it's picked off very nicely by Tim McGeaney. So after 1 quarter of play at Homewood, A low-scoring affair, close to the vest. Hopkins leading Loyola by a score of 2-0. A couple of the teams have tried to play ball control against Hopkins, and then as the game has gone on, that point of view has deteriorated because of the way Hopkins has been able to build up a lead. But 2-0 here is a pretty good indication that Loyola is doing well in that respect.
That's right. You know Loyola is going to have the best game plan to face Hopkins. Cottle and Seaman are good friends. Bill Dwan is an assistant coach on the Loyola squad. He played at Hopkins. They can't afford to fall behind and play this style. That's Tony Seaman right there. In his 14th year as a head coach, 134-58. He's won nearly 70% of his games.
So here's the face-off for the second quarter, and after some scrambling, the face-off is won by Peter Jacobs. Hopkins now moving left to right, and Jacobs lugs the ball into the box near side and back out as he's being pursued by the man against whom he faced off, Jamie Hanford. Now Billy Evans has it. Billy trying to work his way past Del Halliday. Behind to Piccola. And to Dave Marr. In the middle to Terry Reardon, whose blast right on target is picked off nicely by Tim McGeeney. And here comes Loyola in the right side. Matt Dwan brings it into the box, feeds it near side. Uh-oh, just gets away from Pat Irvin. Pat looked like a guy who wanted to shoot before he had control of the ball.
Yeah, he took his eye off the ball there. You could see the athletic ability of Dwan with the long stick. He scored about 7 goals this season with a long stick. And he makes a lot of things happen in transition for Loyola.
Number 29 for Loyola is Mark O'Brien. O'Brien working his way in, double teamed now. Gets it back out to the top of the box where Zach Thornton will try to decide what to do. Zach passes inside. No give and go here. Zach stays where he was. Thought perhaps he might break for the middle, but he did not. Here comes one on the near side as trying to get a shot away is Mark O'Brien, but you can see that Todd Kearney is pretty much all over him. So the Hopkins defense is very formidable, as Loyola knew coming in and as they've found reinforced here in this game. Nonetheless, Pat Irvin tries to get in, and there's a shot in the goal.
Opportunistic style offense for Loyola. They lulled Hopkins to sleep. Chris Georgalis, the freshman, giving Loyola their first score.
It began in
being created
Yeah,
here.
Chris Georgalis with his 28th goal. That sets the freshman record at Loyola College. Georgalis at a Mayapack High School in New York. Really wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school. He's got more goals this year than he had as a senior last year. But Loyola was so impressed with his ability as an option football quarterback at Mayapack High School that they decided to take a chance with him. And he's really developed now into a high-scoring attack player. His father actually is a high school lacrosse and football coach. And Loyola, they love his attitude, and they think Georgalis is going to be a real fine player.
Well, it has developed, and this game has developed into what we were led to expect. It would be low scoring, and if Loyola had their way about it, well, they'd stay close, and they certainly have done so. 2-1, Hopkins in the lead as the faceoff is controlled by the Blue Jays, and that's Tom Roscoe lugging it up the left side. Roscoe into the box, far side. Brian Piccola. Piccola's goal looms large now because it's the go-ahead goal, but his pass gets away and is picked up by the Greyhounds as number 2 Brian Duffy flips it ahead. Here comes Jamie Hanford. Hanford headed off with the pass, and he'll flip it off, and there's a timeout, and the ball's going to go the other way.
Yeah, it's a 10-second violation against Loyola. When Duffy controlled the ball, they have 10 seconds to get it into the offensive box, and they failed, and that's why Hopkins has the ball right now.
So the Blue Jays do indeed have it in the attack zone as Brian Piccola tries to come around and get a shot away. Brendan Fry gets on him, so the pass is over here to the near side. Casey Gordon with the ball. Hopkins 2, Loyola 1. Gordon, go! What a shot. A goal by Casey Gordon, 3-1 Hopkins.
That's what makes this Blue Jay offense so potent. Guys like Casey Gordon with his 14th goal of the year, big, strong left-handed player, and he's got a real size advantage over number 14, Del Holiday. He leans in, dives across the crease. Take a look at that, ending up on the far side of the cage. Here it is again. Watch his speed, strength, and athleticism. Does not step in the crease, and then beats McGeaney high. Defensively, you've got to slide there and help Halliday out. There's no way that he can match up one-on-one with Gordon. Especially when he got that half step on him, and he was almost home free right then and there. So 3-1, Hopkins face-off, and it is controlled by Loyola, as this time it was Zach Thornton taking the face-off, and the shot goes wide. That's a matchup. Those two number 24s, Zach Thornton and Peter Jacobs. Oh, yeah. Hanford, number 5, the freshman with the long sticks, doing a great job against Jacobs. Face-offs right now, 4 for Loyola and 2 for Hopkins.
So here comes Loyola, down by 3-1. Number 29 for Loyola, Mark O'Brien. Weaving his way in, feeding it off. There's a shot. Oh, it's flicked away just as it looked like number 7, Pat Irvin, was going to flip it in there. Loyola keeps the ball. Another good save by Marcus, and he comes out and retrieves it himself. Oh, boy, Jonathan Marcus has been in solid today.
That was a huge save by Marcus because he anticipated the play so well. He saw the pass going across the cage and got to the far pipe before the shot was taken. He got hit in the chest, but that's a real smart veteran play, shifting himself in the cage and taking the ball off the chest protector.
Well, here's Reardon shut out so far. How long can they shut him out? Reardon trying to shoulder his way in with a shot. There's one that's well wide, but he draws a flag.
They're going to call him on a hold here. I don't really agree with this call if we can watch it again. Reardon himself dives here and really makes it look like it's a holding violation. What are you going to do defensively there? I don't know, but they called it nonetheless. Take a look at the coaches poll. Hopkins up top, Loyola down at 8th, Syracuse, Virginia, Duke and Maryland, and Princeton, Carolina, Loyola, Brown, and UMass. Obviously, that coaches poll is not representative of the seating committee's votes. So what you're looking at there really has no bearing on the final pairings.
3-1 Hopkins in the lead, and Hopkins with the ball. And with the extra man offense, they're working it as it gets it out to Chris Macon behind the goal. Here comes Reardon once again. Reardon passing it off to Marr. Marr out to Piccola, a little deeper than usual. In the middle, and a shot and a goal by Chris Macon.
You can't foul Hopkins and get away with it. 40% now on the season, extra man opportunities. Watch him zip the ball around. This is Piccola. Finds the left-hander, Macon, inside, all alone. Chris Macon, 14th goal on the season. McGeaney got a piece of that, and that's why he was so upset.
As a rule, you'd expect Piccola to be the guy in tight, and Macon maybe be farther out. It was almost a role reversal there, and it sure did work. And Hopkins now leads it by a score of 4-1 with 10:29 remaining in the second quarter. You
can look at Macon's stats and see that he really is predominantly a shooter. 14 goals, only 1 assist. He plays on the man-up unit because of his outstanding shooting ability.
Another face-off win by Peter Jacobs as he carries it in and passes to Piccola and off behind the goal to Marr. Chris Macon, who just got that goal, comes in off the bench, and Marr is there looking to see if maybe he can feed him. Marr instead being pushed behind by Brian Volpe. Out in front, here's Reardon. Shot saved. Oh, what a check that time, thrown by Chris Steer. But Loyola comes up with the ball. Steer is after the man who checked him, Matt Dwan. Here comes the flag again. There's the shot stopped, and let's see what the whistle's going to be.
Well, it's going to be a hold against Steer from Hopkins. You can see the long stick, Matt Dwan, not shy. He's going to go to the goal. 9 goals, 6 assists on the season. His brother Billy played here at Hopkins. This is Dwan, a senior out of Yorktown. Yorktown High School in New York, the same school. David Marr, a couple other players. Brian Kuzma switching back to his right hand.
Right
really,
in the face.
He had Marcus beat. You can see Marcus's stick went low, but he was lucky enough to get that in the face. Very tough to save the ball coming out of those long sticks. It's a very deceptive motion.
Those masks come in handy, don't they?
Not like the old hockey days.
All right, let's see what goes here with Loyola with the ball and down by 4-1 with 9:35 remaining in the first half. Blue Jays setting it up here with their extra man. Zach Thornton near side. Thornton tries to go to the left and passes off. And the Blue Jays have killed it off. They were not able to do anything with that extra man offense, but nonetheless, Loyola still has the ball, and this is Tim O'Shea near side. Jeff Bolander on him. Tim O'Shea feeds it out in front. And there's a shot and a goal, and Loyola makes it 4-2.
Now, actually, the ball hit the outside of the net. Duffy didn't have much angle.
So it did hit the outside.
The worst thing here is that he shoots the ball, it's stuck on the outside of the net, and now Hopkins controls. Take a look at it. This is Tim O'Shea behind the goal, very quick, feeding inside to Duffy, and Duffy just misses the goal by an inch right there. He had Marcus dead to rights.
So it's still 4-1, unlike what we thought was. It looked like it was a goal there, but no such thing. And here comes Hopkins over to maintain control as Reardon picks it up near side. Reardon double teamed, and he really needs help back there. He was going to throw to a midi, but they were changing, so Chris Steer comes back on, and perhaps he can be of help. Reardon now has just one man on him, so he'll throw his shoulder in and feed it across to Brian Piccola, who will drop it across, and there's a shot by Kruger that stopped, and the ball maintained by Loyola. Long feed, and a good feed, too, as it's picked up down the field quickly, and Loyola's on the move as Tim O'Shea has the ball.
O'Shea's brother, Ryan O'Shea, played for Rutgers. That's the first game we televised this year. Also an outstanding attackman. O'Shea, number 11, real small, but he's got a cannon shot. Played at West Genesee High School.
Here's Zach Thornton. So far they've held him at bay today, but he can do a lot of different things. Look at him move in there and feed and shoot and score.
Zach Thornton.
That is domination right there. You don't see that too often. Zach Thornton, a real Division I athlete, soccer and lacrosse. Watch this. Takes the check, changes directions. Watch his stick.
Oh.
He'll go over the head right there.
Oh, my.
Werner Kruger runs through it and puts the ball between the legs of Marcus. He is a potential first-team All-American, although he's missed about three or 4 weeks of this season.
That's one of the best goals we've seen this year.
Yeah, it is. Thornton, just a dominating player.
In soccer, he stops the goals as a goalie, and in lacrosse, he scores them. Zach Thornton, it is now 4-2 with Hopkins' lead cut to 2 goals. Blue Jays win the faceoff. Peter Jacobs has it once more, trying to work his way into the right side past Tom Welsh, who's staying on him. Welsh hacking away as Jacobs now spins first one direction and the other. Thought perhaps he had lost the ball, but it's still there in his stick, and now he works his way in. Jacobs looks like he wants to shoot. He does. It's deflected wide. But there's something, a look about Jacobs, unlike perhaps some of these other guys. You know just when he wants to shoot.
McGeaney getting a piece of that. We've got a timeout. Loyola.
Timeout called by Loyola.
With Hopkins leading 4-2.
Take a look at Zach Thornton, 6'2", 210 pounds. Played at John Carroll, which is in Bel Air, Maryland. Beautiful move right there. Coming in, taking the hit after the goal. You don't see that very often, reminiscent of the Gate brothers. But you don't see that kind of size, speed, and skills coming from one player.
Boy, what an athlete he is. So it's a 4-2 game. Blue Jays leading, 7:10 remaining second quarter.
You can see the all-time points leader tied up right now. Piccola and Reardon both tied with 237, so whoever scores the next point will momentarily take that lead.
Well, they're both on the field right now, and this is Reardon with the ball beyond the box as he moves in on the left side. Stripped of the ball. And there's a push.
Loose ball push against Hanford. You know, Hanford was one of the highest recruited athletes last season coming out of high school. Went to prep school to get his grades up, and then Loyola was fortunate enough to get him. I know he was choosing between Syracuse and Loyola. Here he is, a freshman, covering Reardon, the senior.
Let's see who tries to cover Piccola here, as he looks like he wants to work his way in. Piccola shouldering in, moving in, trying to keep from getting in the crease. But he did get in, I guess.
He did. He stepped in on his own momentum there. Credit Brendan Fry, the defender, with a nice job forcing Pecola. Not much of an angle. Fry played at Georgetown Prep in Potomac. Look at the tail of the tape. Goals per game about even. Goals allowed, Loyola 2 goals better. Everything really statistically even. Both those man-up percentages, 48 and 38%, are as good as you're going to see in lacrosse. That 48% in Loyola, Jim, I can't ever remember seeing a team that's done anything like that.
Well, they're certainly, well, there are only 2 losses this year and 10 victories, so I guess that has part of play in it. While we were discussing that, Loyola threw the ball away, so Hopkins has it. And here comes Tom Roscoe, number 29, racing up and passing it ahead inside the box, where he gets it across to Casey Gordon, owner of one of the 4 Hopkins goals. Gordon still with it. And a shot and a goal, and Hopkins now leads it 5-2.
Pecola on the quick stick from Gordon. Ball deflecting off McGeeney's helmet, and Pecola's having a nice game. That's his 2nd goal. He's got one towards Hanford, the freshman. Obviously, there's a lot of jawing going on between these 2 teams. Coach Cottle not happy with it, trailing by 3.
All right, and so it's a 5-2 game, and Hopkins has the ball again as Peter Jacobs races into the box. Here's Terry Reardon. Reardon somehow has been shut out today. That's unusual for him, even this early in the game. Casey Gordon back behind the goal. Thornton comes back to join him there and dare him to come out. Back behind to Marr. Here's Pecola. And Marr again.
Loyola now playing zone defense. Actually, they switch back into man-to-man.
They really packed it in, don't they?
Oh, it is a zone. They've got 2 behind and 4 inside.
So how does Hopkins solve this? Well, that's what they're working on right now. Marr, Reardon. Here's Gordon again. And now big guys behind the goal, that is to say Reardon. Marr has it knocked away, recovers. Trying every which way, aren't they? Andrew Godfrey.
What Loyola is doing defensively right now, they've got 2 players behind the goal, and then they're boxing 4 players in front of the goal. So it's a partial man-to-man, partial zone defense.
Well, Marr gets it out, and here's an attempt at a shot that doesn't work out. It looked like Roscoe was trying to shoot before he had control, and as a consequence, it gets away, but Casey Gordon comes up with it. Roscoe again. Here's Reardon with a shot. Wide, but Hopkins maintains control as Marr covers.
Timmy McGeeney making a nice save there. We've seen both these goalies make a lot of saves today. They haven't caught many of the shots, and that's really a credit to the shooters. When the ball's going 90 miles an hour and you don't know where it's going, very difficult to catch it. A lot of times you're just going to deflect it.
Well, 2 of the top goalkeepers in all of lacrosse this year, no doubt about that. Hopkins leads the game by 5-2. They're trying to solve this mystery of how to control this defense that Loyola has thrown up, and Loyola's persistence pays off as they get the ball, and Matt Dwan feeds it off to the near side. Mishandled by Georgialis, I should say, and then battled for here on the near side, and it is Loyola coming up with it as Pat Irvin has the ball.
Nice hustle by Irvin, the senior. Did not play last year, had a knee injury, and came back for a 5th year. Gutty player, not the biggest, about 5'8", 145 pounds, yet he gets the job done.
Ryan Duffy unable to work his way in. There's a shot in the goal, however, as it's picked up by Dal Holliday. And the man from British Columbia makes it a 5-3 game.
We spoke of Holliday's ability off the ball. He's one of the best cutters in lacrosse, and that was a prime example. Watch him. That's a tail end right there. Catching the ball and scooting behind the net with his hand up in the air. Here it is. This is Duffy, the feeder, looking inside, feeding Halliday. These 2 have hooked up quite a bit this year. Halliday very dangerous when he doesn't have the ball. He's a very smart player. 31 goals on the season, 5-3.
Greyhounds sure making a game of it here. 3:21 remaining in the half of the 5-3 contest. Face off, no one controls as yet. But it's an illegal procedure here, and the ball will go over to Loyola.
Yeah, on a face-off, you're not allowed to come out of the defensive and offensive box zones. And that time, Todd Carney stepped over that red line, and that's why Loyola has possession.
So here's Pat Irvin with the ball, sliding over to cover him, Brian Kuzma. Those two still at it. Now the feed is off. Thornton cannot handle it. Out of bounds.
I think what we're going to see for the rest of the game here, Loyola's going to stick with their game plan. We've seen a lot of teams play Hopkins this year and start the game with a good game plan and then get out of it. I think Loyola is so well coached and in such good condition that they will execute that game plan for the entire 60 minutes. And I think it's going to be a 2 or 3 goal game the whole way, and they'll always be close enough with one spurt. They might be able to win this game.
Well, we're within less than 3 minutes of halftime right now. 5-3, Hopkins in the lead. And here come the Blue Jays. Racing into the right side is Michael Noonan. Here again is Reardon. Reardon says, hey, I haven't had a goal yet. Flipped away, then recovered by Reardon as he was trying to get it through to Piccola. So Reardon comes back into the box and looks like he wants to crank up and shoot. He's in too deep for it right now, however. So he'll work it from the other side. Out to Piccola. So their roles reverse as Piccola is now behind and Reardon is biding his time. Piccola trying to shoulder in.
2 minutes remaining in the half. 2 minutes.
Now here's Dave Marr. Let's see what he does with it as he turns one way, then another, then shoots and scores.
That is an unstoppable move by Dave Marr, and I'll tell you why. Chris Lloyd, defensively for Loyola, does a nice job here. Marr comes up left-handed, stops to turn for his right-hand shot. Right there. You can see Lloyd is in excellent position. Marr doesn't have much angle. You can see. You'll see McGeeney's in actually good position. Lloyd forces the man to the short side, but Marr, the accuracy right there inside the pipe. As a defense player, really, Lloyd is taught to turn the man back for that shot. He did, but for Hopkins, Marr found the goal. Just an unstoppable move.
And here is another face-off win by the Blue Jays as it's picked up by Peter Jacobs. Hopkins now has doubled up Loyola 6-3. Brian Piccola, the man with the ball across the way, Brendan Fry covering him, as we were led to indicate before the game he would try to do all day long. Terry Reardon passing it off. Peter Jacobs with the ball near side. Jacobs moving in on Zach Thornton. Across the way now. Here's Marr. And here he comes again. Stop this time. And the ball squirts out and is taken away by Brian Fry. Look at Fry move. 1 minute, you heard him say, remaining in the half. So Loyola will like to see if they can maybe cut into this deficit. They're down 6-3. It's out in front and gets away all the way to midfield. Scooped up by the Blue Jays. Dave Marr trying to get away as he races against Chris Lloyd. Lloyd and Marr. And Lloyd flips it away from him. Marr goes back to get it. And down he goes, and there's the flag.
That's going to be a tripping violation against Lloyd, against Marr. You know, on that prior series, Matt Dwan just blatantly labeled Marr up high. The Hopkins bench went crazy. They were looking for the cross-check violation. And the interesting thing about that is, here's the trip, though. The interesting thing about that is Dwan and Marr are best buddies. They went to high school together at Yorktown in upstate New York. But on that last play, certainly you didn't see that friendship shining through.
They leave that on the sidelines.
Woo. Look at the extra man. Hopkins coming in with 38%. They're 2 for 3. I think that's been one of the keys to this team this year. Whenever they get in a scoring slump, they can count on their extra man to get that spurt going and to really trigger the offense.
Well, already owner of 2 goals, Dave Marr, passes off behind the goal. This is Marr waiting to the top of the box and giving a pick there as it's out to Terry Reardon. Reardon passing it off once more to Casey Gordon. And it's shot, and it's a 7-3 game.
Marr with the hat trick, and that's Gordon's second assist. The foul, Loyola fouling Hopkins. Hopkins making him pay for it. 3 for 4. Here it is. You'll see Gordon setting up behind the net. Marr finds the seam in that zone defense, all in front. Nothing Timmy McGeeney's going to do about that one. David Marr, 3 goals, really having his best game of the year.
You know, with both Reardon and Piccola graduating this year and Marr going to be around another year, a lot of the burden, obviously, of the scoring is going to fall on him even more, and this is his rehearsal for it, I guess.
Yeah, and his role is going to change. This year, he's more of a ball distributor, getting the ball to Piccola and Reardon. Next year, they're going to count on him to dodge and penetrate towards the net.
And here come the Blue Jays as Kevin Kaiser comes up with a loose ball, and the time is almost up here. As a matter of fact, it is. So the Hopkins Blue Jays, with a couple of late goals, have taken a 7-3 halftime lead.
Soccer team. BIA award.
Chris Berman.
Getting ready for the second half of this game with Hopkins in the lead by a score of 7-3 over the Greyhounds of Loyola. And halftime stat brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Take a look at this score, 7-3. Shots, Loyola trailing by 7. Extra man opportunities, 3 for 4 Hopkins, 0 for 2 Loyola. That's really been a difference, I think. Hopkins, anytime Loyola's fouled, they have 4 penalties. Hopkins has capitalized. 3 out of 4 is just
4 and controlled once again by Peter Jacobs. Jacobs feeds to Piccola, to Marr, who hits the far post, and they're trying to clear it out of there, and a long clear works out. Picked up by Chris Georgalis. He has one of the 3 Loyola goals. 7-3 Hopkins.
That was a double piper by Marr. The ball hit the far pipe, then clicked up and hit the crossbar and came down in front of the goal.
Well, here's a pretty good effort here by Pat Irvin, but eventually he's going to have to give it up, and he does as he sends it to the top of the box for Mark O'Brien.
Loyola's a team that, coming off of last year, they lost their 3 attackmen. Heffernan, Radaball graduated, and Kevin Lutz, their leading scorer last season, who had 5 against Hopkins, blew out his ankle in preseason practice. So this is a whole new attack team, and that's why their scoring from that position is down this season.
This one gets away the other side, and good stop by Marcus, and heavy traffic in that crease area, and the wall will go back to Loyola.
That's a loose ball push against Hopkins. Loyola will control.
So this is Loyola on the move, and there's a shot that bounces wide as Dale Holliday tried to get one away. And the Blue Jays come away with the ball. Good effort by Aaron Van Horn. And Van Horn decides, I'm just going to keep on carrying here. He has plenty of room now. He feeds it off into the middle, and this is Dave Marr, who has himself a hat trick. All those goals coming in the first half of the 7-3 game. Hopkins leading. Marr feeds. Piccola's got it. Brian shoulders his way in, and then is going to have to give it up as he drops it off to Marr once more.
This is that zone for Loyola.
Billy Evans trying to work against that zone now as he passes once more to Marr. Well, they've had some success in solving this, but it's taken them a while. Milford Marchand, whose name hasn't been called very much today. I don't think he's missed a few shifts out there. Terry Reardon. Casey Gordon, Brian Piccola. Billy Evans gets it back to Piccola. Piccola looks like he wants to make a run here. Throws the face dodge, but is held at bay. Now he'll have it again.
The one problem with going to a zone defense, and actually now Loyola mixing it up, is that it forfeits possession. They're down by 4 goals. You can't afford to sit back in a zone and let Hopkins just run the clock off down by 4. So eventually Coach Cottle's going to have to make a decision to come out of the zone and pressure Hopkins.
And right now they're just packed in, as you can see, tight into that goal area as Hopkins is trying to figure it out. There's a save on a shot by Casey Gordon off a feed by Piccola, and Piccola is back there battling for it now. Marr and Piccola double teaming. Now the Loyola guys get back there to cover, and coming away with it is the goalkeeper, Tim McGeeney. Steal here. Marchand into the middle. Back. A shot. And over the crossbar, and a real blast that time by Casey Gordon.
Yeah, Casey Gordon went with a little too much mustard on that last shot. Hopkins with a little transition opportunity off the faulty pass by McGeaney, picked off by Marchand. That's tough for Loyola. You play good defense for 2 minutes. You play good right there. Picked off by Marchand. You play good defense, and then you turn it over on the clearing pass. Those second chance opportunities always come back to kill you.
Piccola with the ball now, trying to work his way in, passing off to the near side. Casey Gordon, who took that blast shot the other moment ago, and now he's got it behind the goal. Hopkins really having to work for this. They're up 7-3, and as Quint indicated, this of course kills off a lot of time that perhaps Loyola can't in the long run afford to let go. This is Milford Marchand. This is Casey Gordon. Dave Marr back to Gordon. Marchand working his way in. Here's a shot over the goal. And out of play, and they'll still be
Shot out of bounds.
Yeah, Loyola's doing a nice job here defensively, keeping the ball on the perimeter. But again, we're 5 minutes into this third quarter. They're down by 4 goals. This is time that they really can't afford to let run off. This game plan works well when you're in front.
And when you get a shot like that from Casey Gordon, the second goal of the game, you're going to lead 8-3.
Casey Gordon, second goal of the afternoon.
We'll be back.
Tony Seaman and Hopkins, they've really benefited from a couple transfer players, and Casey Gordon's one of them with that outside cannon right there. Gordon, Macon, and Roscoe have accounted for 40 Hopkins goals this year. Gordon being a transfer from the University of Virginia, played at Gilman School, which is right up the road, a little north of Loyola actually, and then transferred here last season. But Hopkins now with 40 goals from players who have transferred in from other schools.
Peter Jacobs winning another faceoff and getting it off to Terry Reardon. 10.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Hopkins leading by 8-3 over the Greyhounds of Loyola. Here's Casey Gordon, the goal getter of a few moments back. This is Roscoe. Tom Roscoe trying to get a shot away. Turns 2 different ways and still can't get one away as Del Halliday stays on him. To Piccola. Gordon again on the far side. They're passing it around, but this one gets away. Zach Thornton feeds it off to his goalie. And Loyola brings it out. Tim McGeaney doing a good job in goal for Loyola, but there's been relentless pressure against him here. And there's one that's ticked away. Nice job there by Tom Roscoe, who comes up with the ball far side, double teamed now. And Roscoe's going to try a crossfield pass, intercepted by Loyola. And here come the Greyhounds as Brian Duffy carries it in and then is ridden to the outside. Duffy regaining control, but double teamed now and still able to pass it away. Let's see who comes up with it here at midfield as the ball flies into the air, and Hopkins comes away with it. Brian Piccola in his stick across to Reardon. Reardon one-on-one. Let's see what he does here. Now he's hemmed in by 2 guys, but gets a shot away nonetheless, wide left.
That play started with Tommy Roscoe with the crossfield pass. It was the right idea. The execution wasn't there. And then Todd Carney for Hopkins did a great job against Duffy, forcing the turnover. One-on-one against Duffy. He stripped him. Hopkins controlled. Reardon rolling back for his left hand. Reardon, I've very seldomly seen him shoot right-handed. In fact, the only goal I think he's got right-handed this year was the game winner against Maryland down at College Park.
Okay.
Holding called on the loose ball against Loyola.
It's a hold call against Loyola. You know, Tommy Roscoe's done such a nice job. There he is. I'm surprised he has any energy. At 11 o'clock this morning, 3 hours before game time, he's out there running around, shooting the ball. He's just a nonstop, just a bundle of energy, Tommy Roscoe. And he's really picked up the scoring lately. He's got 5 goals in the last 3 games.
Well, this is Tommy with the ball behind the goal. Hopkins leading 8-3 with 8.5 minutes remaining third quarter. Roscoe looked like he was going to shoulder in with a shot, and he tries again. But this time he's stopped on a good stuff by Tim McGeaney.
They're going to call a push right there. Coach Cottle right there on the sideline can't believe that was called a push. Take a look at it. They're going to call 14 for the push. Roscoe will try to sneak underneath right there for the goal. He did have a bit of an angle. Looked as if he dove, and then Halliday might have pushed him a bit. But that call going for Hopkins.
And the ball in control of Brian Piccola, who has a couple of goals this afternoon. bidding for the hat trick here as he works his way in and shoots over the crossbar. Still Hopkins ball as it's covered back there by Marr.
Two of the finer players in the country going head-to-head right there. Bacola against Fry. Look at the domination of Hopkins this quarter. 8 shots for 1 for Loyola.
And Hopkins gets another one away, and this one is picked off on a good move by Tim McGeaney. He loses control of the ball, and Hopkins is at work again. Terry Reardon this time.
Gritty play there by Roscoe to come up with that loose ball.
Uh-oh, this one gets away. I don't know whether Marr took his eyes off the ball prematurely or what, but it's thrown out of bounds, and it'll be Loyola ball.
That's assistant coach Joe Cowan taking the hands through the hair. That's never a good sign when you're a coach, when the hands go through the hair there. It's usually a little frustration. He's the offensive coordinator.
Well, his hands haven't had to go through his hair all that much this year, the way Hopkins has played. Loyola on the move, down 8-3. 7.5 minutes remaining third quarter. Still, of course, time for them to do something, but not if they play as deliberately as they have during certain stages of this game. Brian Duffy with the ball. Duffy trying to go in on Van Horn. His shot is wide, and the next piece of work there by the goalkeeper as Marcus seems to really position himself well.
That's right. On that situation, you have to take away that near side. Duffy aiming for the far pipe and missing by a couple inches. We saw a similar goal scored by Hopkins earlier, Dave Marr, where he had the same angle and made the shot against McGeaney. But both these goalies play very fundamentally sound position in the cage.
Well, here's Zach Thornton. We were talking about how perhaps he'd have to score a couple more goals if Loyola was going to get back into this one, but he passes off here. And then the bouncing ball is over on the far side where it's being chased down by Mark O'Brien. Brian Smith with the ball across to Thornton. Thornton almost beheaded there as they really are on him. But here's one from outside, which is wide right on a blast. That time, as he's letting that one go, is Brian Smith. Loyola keeps the ball. There's a shot. There's a goal as it's put into the net by Mark O'Brien.
Mark O'Brien just with an absolute cannon. The junior from West Springfield, Virginia. Again, Virginia high school lacrosse is improving. Watch this, time and room. He sets, steps up, and fires. The key there was Hopkins didn't have anyone in his face. As a shooter, you give a guy time and room, and you really can isolate a spot on the cage, take those couple steps, get your weight on the back foot, and then just uncork that shot past Marcus.
So it's an 8-4 game with Hopkins leading with 6:16 remaining in the third quarter. And just as they were about to face off, Jamie Hanford comes off the field. And going out to take the face-off is Tom Welsh. And a couple other changes as number 25 goes on. Casey Larkin and number 3, Brian Volpe, come off. So personnel changes here for Loyola in a couple of instances. The face-off is controlled by the Greyhounds this time. And there's a feed into the middle, and there they come, but the ball is knocked aside. And there's a whistle, and let's see what the call is going to be.
That's a hold against Hopkins. Todd Carney really makes a nice play here. I don't know if you saw it, but subtly he deflected that pass from Halliday to Georgialis, and had that pass gone through, Loyola had a 2-on-1 opportunity and probably would have gotten a nice shot. But that subtle stick in the passing lane, deflecting the ball down low, you don't see those plays very often. But Todd Carney really on top of his game this afternoon. Zach
Thornton, who has one of the 4 Loyola goals, is moving in, passing it off. And picked up at the top of the box. In there's a shot and a goal as Chris Georgialis gets his second of the day.
Too much emphasis on stopping Zach Thornton right here. Comes back to burn Hopkins. This play starts with Thornton right here, and he'll get double teamed. You'll see Marchant and the quick double team by Van Horn, leaving Halliday down low. One more to Georgialis, and Hopkins is caught out of position. Right there you see Marchant and Van Horn really doing nothing on the backside. You cannot triple team Zach Thornton. Loyola will burn you on the backside. Del Halliday feeding Georgialis for that goal.
What an addition Georgialis has been to this Loyola team. So it's an 8-5 game with Hopkins in the lead. We have about 5:35 remaining in this third quarter as the Blue Jays get control. Peter Jacobs winning this face-off, and now as he moves in, back to cover him is Tom Welsh. Jacobs behind the goal this time. He'll pass it off to Brian Piccola. And Marr, he has 3 goals, feeds in front, but at that time Marchand tries to get a shot away before he gets control of the ball, and back it comes to midfield and beyond, where the Blue Jays try to get control and nothing doing. Loyola. Here comes Brian Duffy near side with a shot, deflected wide. That one, I think, was off the leg of perhaps Van Horn.
That's a big call right there if you're a Hopkins fan. Marcus beating the Loyola attack to the end line. Loyola's got some momentum now.
And here come the Blue Jays with Chris Macon carrying the ball into the attack zone. Yeah, the Blue Jays were leading 8-3. Now it's 8-5, so they're going to try to blunt that Loyola momentum. Marchand races in. Marchand gets knocked aside as he tried to get out in front, and the ball is stripped away from him and picked up by Loyola's Chris Lloyd, and Loyola is going to clear. Here on the near side, it's picked up by Mark Gariglia, and Gariglia comes carrying it in. Pass nearly gets away this time, but Pat Irvin keeps it in. Loyola playing much more well, I don't know. It looks to me like they've gotten their confidence up.
Yeah, and I think they've gotten their legs also, Jim. They're getting the loose balls in this quarter, and it's correlating into more shot opportunities. They've got the conditioning. It's just a matter of toughness and intensity and a couple breaks here and there, and they're going to be in this game.
Thornton passes it out. There's a shot. There's a goal as Loyola makes it 8-6 on a blast from outside by Mark O'Brien, his second of the day.
Nice look across the cage, Zach Thornton.
And that cuts it to 8-6, Hopkins lead.
Are you ready for some volleyball? Well, get ready to swing.
Communication problem for Hopkins, but O'Brien, time and room. This time he puts it down between the legs of Marcus. Same spot. And mixes it up. You got to think that Marcus was probably guessing high and the ball trickles between his legs. Loyola now with 3 straight goals and a little momentum.
We were talking earlier about the fact that Terry Reardon has not scored a goal, but possibly part of that has to do with the fact that they were concentrating so much on him that the other guys were free. Well, I suppose the same applies to Zach Thornton.
That's right. Those last 2 goals, I think you can attribute to the fact that Hopkins is overplaying Thornton. They're going to try to let the other guys beat him, not Zach Thornton. And you're exactly right about Hopkins. You know, Loyola's putting a lot of tension towards Terry Reardon.
Zach is being sent out to face off here against his opposite number 24, Peter Jacobs. Thornton against Jacobs down in this face-off, but Jacobs wins the draw, as he usually does, and carries it into the box on the near side. So a big face-off for Hopkins as they've seen their lead dwindle to 2 goals. It's 8-6, and it's fed off now to Billy Evans. Thornton on Evans as Evans tries to figure out what to do in this situation. Over to Terry Reardon. And Reardon is going to see if he can work his way in for a shot. Here he comes, turns around, right-handed. Goal!
Tony Seaman's got to be happy with that move. You know, we talked earlier about Reardon being strictly a left-handed player, and he comes back. Hanford does just a great job right there, taking away the left hand. He turns to his right and stings the upper corner. Terry Reardon showing a little versatility, rolling back for his right hand. You can't fault Hanford defensively here or McGeaney. You just got to put a lot of credit on Terry Reardon's shoulders right there with that right-handed goal.
I think we pointed out in an earlier telecast that Terry Reardon has been shut out only once in his entire Hopkins career, and that was in a game, as I think you told me, that Piccola didn't play.
That's right. Piccola was out with a rib injury, and that was down at North Carolina at a time when North Carolina had an outstanding defense. This season, Navy held Reardon to 1 goal. Kapitulik did a fine job against him, but otherwise it's been Reardon domination. all season long.
There's a bouncing shot from Peter Jacobs. It comes out of bounds, and Hopkins maintains control.
Midfield for Loyola, Volpe, Dwan.
Big goal for Hopkins there, stopping 3 in a row for the evergreen-clad Loyola Greyhounds. They had all the momentum. The crowd was starting to get into it. Hopkins looked a little flat-footed, and then you get the ball to your all-star, and he stops that streak.
Speaking of star players, Marr, who has 3 goals today, has the ball, gets a pick, and he drops it off to Piccola. Piccola trying to shoulder his way in for another goal. Gets the shot, but it's stuffed, and it's picked away by Brian Volpe. And this is Volpe with a good burst of speed, carrying it down the left side and into the box for Loyola. Volpe feeds off. There's a shot and a goal as Matt Dwan puts one into the net.
Matt Dwan, 10th goal of the season. Big stop there by McGeaney. Volpe turning on the Jets. Loyola had a 5-on-4 fast break. You know, you see a lot of 4-on-3s, but a 5-on-4 delayed break. Dwan is on the near side all alone. Volpe carries in, finds him, and there's Dwan unleashing his 10th goal of the year as a long stick midfielder. He's the best in the country at that offensive nature of a defenseman. Not afraid to shoot. 10 goals to go with 6 assists. Here it is again. Low-to-low worm burner right there. Beating Marcus. Loyola will not die. We know they're in good condition. This game's going to go down to the last 5 minutes.
I'm not going to argue with you. 2:23 remaining, and it's back to a 2-goal differential. 9-7, Hopkins in the lead, and it's controlled here by the Blue Jays. As Tom Roscoe has the ball, gets away from a double team, and still has the ball as the flags are flying, and feeds it across to Peter Jacobs. Jacobs, who is shouldering his way in, turning around, goes left-handed as he feeds. A shot and a goal for Piccola.
We're going to have a foul, 2 fouls actually against Loyola. The first one's going to be a slash against Roscoe. Homewood Field erupting with that goal by Piccola. This is Jacobs, one-on-one. Loyola quick to slide, and here's Piccola scores. Now watch after he shoots right there.
Oh, yeah.
He's barely touched and does a nice Academy Award-winning job of falling down to the turf. Earlier on in the play, we had a delayed call against Loyola for a slash against number 29, Tom Roscoe, and then we had that after. So Hopkins might go up 2 men here. Let's see Rich Tamburino and Tom Young. There's Piccola, one of the toughest. He's really a street fighter, Piccola. He'll take a hit for a goal any day of the week.
And I think I noticed just at the tail end of that pass that just as he was being double-teamed, Peter Jacobs got that pass away to Piccola, and that was a nice piece of teamwork.
That's exactly right. Jacobs penetrated enough on the Loyola defense that they sent the slide, leaving Piccola all alone in front, and Jacobs showing his versatility. He can face off, he can score with an assist. Referees right now sorting through this. It's going to be a slashing call. Dead ball foul against Loyola, so Hopkins will be up for 1 minute.
Hopkins with the man advantage for 1 minute.
So this is turning into a higher scoring game than we might have anticipated after a 2-0 lead by Hopkins after 1 quarter of play. We now have a 10-7 Hopkins lead with 2:02 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And there's going to be actually 2 fouls against Loyola.
They're explaining that now to Dave Cottle, who's coming over and wants a...
Yeah, actually, there's only going to be 1. So Dwan comes off, and Lloyd comes on. I guess Dwan is going to serve that penalty, even though it wasn't Dwan who fouled Piccola after the goal. It was Lloyd, number 17. But obviously the referees got confused on the numbers. But anyway, Hopkins up a man now for a full 1 minute.
And to try to pad that lead, they're leading 10-7. And with their extra man offense in motion, this is Terry Reardon. Sends it out to Chris Macon. Takes the return pass. Gives it back in the middle once more, and this is a bouncer that is wide. Billy Evans letting one go, and it's still going to be Hopkins' ball. Good hustle back there by Casey Gordon.
Yeah, and Casey Larkin for Loyola, who comes in on man-down situations. Got a stick on Evans, the sophomore, and deflected that shot wide.
Gordon now feeding it off near side to Dave Marr. Marr out once more to Evans, and over he goes as Terry Reardon picks it up and returns the pass to Macon. Macon with a shot. Deflected. Hopkins ball still.
It seems as if Loyola is going to let either Evans, Macon, or Reardon take the shot up top. They're playing those 3 players with 2 defense, and I don't like this strategy. I think Macon and Reardon have 2 of the finest shots on this Hopkins team.
Well, maybe they'll get a chance to show it right now. making passes to Reardon. Back in the middle, Evans. Oh, and a good fake and a good save.
Yeah, McGeaney real quick on that one.
Shot out of bounds to the Blue Jays.
Very interesting to see the way Evans faked the right-handed shot and then turned left-handed.
Team's back at even strength. Loyola killed that penalty.
Nonetheless, Hopkins still has the ball. They cast a glance at the clock. It shows them 48 seconds remaining in this third quarter. As Gordon tries to work his way out in front, here's Brian Piccola. In the middle to Roscoe. Back behind once again to Billy Evans. Evans with the turnaround. Evans looking to shoot. Evans. Wow, they practically mugged him right there as he came in to get a shot away, and there's a hold.
That's a holding call against Duffy. Duffy is Mr. Everything for Loyola. He's a starting attackman. He plays on the extra man unit, and he plays on the man down unit. But that is a noosing of Evans. He tried for the one-handed over-the-shoulder check. Should have released. He should have made the check and pulled his hand right back, but instead he realized he was beat. So he held on to Evans. So actually, if you don't make that check, you might as well take the 30-second foul, because Evans probably would have had a goal there had he not latched on to him.
A noosing, eh?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
It did. Well put. All right, here come the Blue Jays then with the extra man offense once more in motion. Dave Marr passes, then breaks for the slot, and then it's picked off outside, and Evans sends it into the middle. There's a shot and a goal by Casey Gordon. He's got a hat trick.
Casey Gordon doing it all today. 3 goals on the assist from Evans. Again, you cannot foul Johns Hopkins University if you expect to beat them. That's their 4th man-up goal of the afternoon. That's the difference in this game. You take away those man-up goals for Hopkins, we're tied at 7. But they've scored 4, so they're up 11-7. Gordon showing a little shot selection mix-up. He scored high, he scored on a bouncer, and there he scores between the legs of McGeaney.
Goal number 11 coming with just 11 seconds remaining in the third quarter. As the face-off is controlled by the Blue Jays. Near side, I don't think they're going to get a chance to get any shot away before the period comes to an end. And obviously now nope, the shot comes just as the period comes to an end. And after 3 quarters of play at Homewood Field, Johns Hopkins 11, Loyola 7. A bit here. What is Dave Cottle, the coach of the Loyola Greyhounds, apt to have said to his guys down by 4 goals with 15 minutes left?
Well, I don't think they can afford to stay in their zone defense. I think they got to extend the pressure defensively to try to create more turnovers. I think they've also got to go to the goal more often, get the ball to Thornton, go to the goal, and they can't afford to foul. That's been really the difference in this game is Hopkins scoring on their man-up opportunities.
Finally, Loyola comes away with the ball on this face-off as Del Halliday races in, and a good save by Jonathan Marcus. Jonathan tries to clear out the left. Ooh, ouch, that hurt. Marchand taken to the field as Loyola comes up with the ball once again. There's a feed, but unable to get it through to Del Halliday. It goes out of bounds.
A lot of action. That's a who's your buddy pass. Marcus setting up Marchand. A beautiful save by Marcus. Maybe one of his best of the afternoon. And he just lobs this ball. Who's your buddy? Boom.
Ooh, that hurt.
And he got him up by the helmet. He's okay, though. Marchand remains on his feet, and he's in the game right now. And Loyola actually had a good chance off that, but threw the ball away.
Look at the effort here by Noonan as he maintains control of the ball somehow, because all over him every inch of the way that time was Mark Cariglia. Now here's the face-off man with the ball, Peter Jacobs. Jacobs, once in a while in the game, will just make up his mind he's going to go in and shoot. But this time he passes off, and Marchand is unable to handle it. It's out of bounds, and it'll go to Loyola.
You never know. Marchand maybe his vision may be a little clouded from that hit.
He took a heavy hit.
That's something that happens. So as a goaltender, I've done it many times where you see a guy, he's open, you throw him the ball, and maybe for some reason your vision was obstructed of a player on another team, and your teammate gets labeled, and it's just a horrible feeling as a goalie, or it happens in football often when a quarterback will throw a lame duck to a receiver.
Brendan Fry's feed gets away this time from Mark O'Brien. O'Brien, who owns a couple of the Loyola goals this afternoon. It's 11-7, Hopkins in the lead, and Hopkins now in control of the ball as it's battled for behind the goal. Marcus gets some help and gets the ball.
Marcus made a nice play there.
How'd you like that clear?
Yeah, he hooked Pat Irvin a bit, which took Irvin off the ball, and then gathered the loose ball and threw the sidearm pass. So you couldn't really see what he did there, but he hooked him. Take a look at the shots.
Warner.
45 to 29.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, here's Reardon. He has one of the goals today. He had 7 last Saturday against Towson State. 7 goals. This is Piccola. Brian Piccola. Ball free in front of the goal, but picked out of there. And McGeaney does a good job of clearing it. Here comes Loyola on the move. Pass into the middle, and this is Mark O'Brien, who carries it into the box. The clock increasingly the enemy of the Loyola Greyhounds, 12:40 and ticking.
This is a good time for Thornton to go to the net. He can use a burst of speed here.
Okay, let's see what he does. Breaks left. Tries to break right. This time he's double teamed. He tried exactly the same move that he had on which he'd scored a goal earlier. But Loyola comes back with the ball, and Thornton gets back up after being entangled with Aaron Van Horn. And Loyola still has the ball then, as it is carried by Pat Irvin and sent out to the top of the box, where it is controlled by Brian Smith. Smith goes in, throws a fake, wanted to get a left-hand shot away, but it was hemmed in. Nice move that time by Brian Kuzma, who came over. But here he is once more with a shot, and it's knocked aside.
Not much of an angle there. Hopkins did a nice job against Thornton. Thornton generally goes to his right. They forced him to his left. He turned, and the double team was there. Give their team a lot of credit there. That's good team defense.
Let's see what Thornton does this time. He's racing into the right side, cranks up, feeds behind the goal. Here's one out in front. There's a dodge, a shot, and a goal on a beautiful shot by Brian Smith.
This is a textbook face dodge by Brian Smith, showing a lot of foot quickness and a laser-like shot.
Hopkins leading 11-8.
They are, it was 7-3 at half. Hopkins actually made it 8-3. Loyola pulled close at 8-6, had a lot of momentum. Reardon struck for Hopkins, and then Loyola came back again. This is Smith. That's a beautiful face dodge, and that's one you want to do when the defensive player is rushing out at you. You want to give him that big stick fake with your right hand, pull it back, and then let it go. Well, young players who are watching can certainly learn from Smith's goal.
Well, that was a beauty. So at sun-drenched Homewood Field, we got ourselves a lacrosse game, boy. 11-8. Hopkins in the lead with still plenty of time for Loyola to put a further dent into it. 11:46 remaining. So the next goal, regardless of who scores it, is going to be a very significant goal in this game. Should it be Loyola, of course, it would tighten it up considerably. Another goal by Hopkins before Loyola could be a little tough for the Greyhounds. Peter Jacobs battling for this face-off, and he gets it through with the help of Milford Marchand, and Marchand carries it into the box to the left side.
One reason we haven't heard Marchand's name very often is because he's been covered by Dwan sometimes. And Dwan's one of the finer long stick defenders in the country. His only really subpar game this year was against Syracuse, where he had to match up against Roy Colsey. And Colsey's such a strong and powerful player. Dwan really doesn't match up well with Colsey. He matches up very well, though, with a player like Marchand.
Number 22 there, Casey Gordon, has had one of his best games of the year. He's got 3 goals, and it looks like he's got in mind for another one. Instead, he's going to perhaps have to pass off, and he does, as he gets it over on the far side to Dave Marr. Marr breaking away, losing the ball in the process, and it's taken away by Loyola as Chris Lloyd tries to lug it down the field and does. Here's Lloyd racing for the box. With that long stick, he cranks up and feeds off. Deflected and coming out to midfield, but Loyola will get control as it's lugged in once more by Matt Dwan. Talked about him earlier. Spin around shot saved by Marcus. Anybody's ball here. And the Blue Jays come away with a good effort here.
Marcus anticipating that shot. And we'll have a timeout by Hopkins. Tony Seaman, sensing that Hopkins was having some problems clearing the ball, calls an alert timeout. Loyola had a nice chance there. They had a 5-on-4 opportunity. Del Halliday was open in front, but Hopkins still up by 3.
11-8.
Beating inside. Now watch a save by Marcus. Comes out from his cage, and what that does there is cuts down the angle. In that situation, that's a real smart play for the goalie to come out, take that shot in the pads. This is last year's game review, which Loyola won up at Curly Field 17-15 in torrential rain. The Keys, Hopkins controlled the face-offs, but yet Loyola won. Just a high-scoring game. Not many saves made by John Marcus, and I think he's redeemed himself. Look at penalties. Last year, Loyola with 10, Hopkins 5. It's been the same story this year. I think penalties are one of the telltale factors in this game. And, of course, compared to last year, this weather is absolutely ideal. Last year, as you indicated, there was a torrential rain. Here comes Casey Gordon trying to shoulder his way in for a shot. Ridden to the outside. Now the ball gets away, and Marr is there to try to pick it up. And he does get it away. Nice move on Marr. Chris Lloyd was all over him, but Dave Marr emerges with the ball and feeds it behind the goal. Here is a shot and another goal. His fourth of the day by Casey Gordon.
Casey Gordon having his best game in his career. That bounce shot deflecting off McGeeney's stick. Take a look at it. Gordon's fourth goal. Time in the room, sets, fires. McGeeney gets a piece, hits the pipe, hits the top crossbar, and bounces in. I spoke to Gordon before the game, and he said, he goes, "Quint, you better say some nice things about me." And I'm like, "Casey, I can't do that. You know, you've got to step up and play well." And it's interesting that this has been his best game of his career.
Okay, you gave him the challenge. He responded. This, of course, is the final home game, regular season home game for Casey Gordon, the senior. But he'll be seeing more action in the playoffs, as will his Hopkins teammates. And for that matter, Loyola, too. But where will they be in the playoffs? Ball out of bounds, and it'll go over to Hopkins. Nope. Yep, it will be.
Physical play on the near sideline. The crowd enjoying that last hit. This is Marr. Marr's got a little back injury. He was hot and cold this week in practice. He made it out to practice every day, but he's nursing a back injury.
Maybe that's why he only has 3 goals.
Exactly, and guess who else is a little banged up for Hopkins? Picola. and he's having a decent day, too, with 3 goals.
I guess so. Well, here's Terry Reardon. He's managed just 1 goal, but he looks like he's got eyes for another one as he gets around and moves in. Wants to get that left-handed shot away. As he gets a shot, it's picked up out of his stick, and now the race is on as going back to pick it up is Warner Kruger.
We have a whistle behind the play. Rich Tamburino. And it's going to be a call against Loyola College.
I wonder if it had something to do with when Reardon was trying to get a shot away, if something happened there. Unnecessary roughness is the call.
Yeah, Marr's got a bad back, and watch Lloyd right here. He probably knows it. He almost steps on his back right there. Right there, he steps on his back. He might know that Marr's a little shaky.
Maybe he's trying to give him a little chiropractic treatment there.
There is so much stuff. If we could mic these players, I think we'd have a great game. There's a lot of subtle things that go on in a lacrosse game with the sticks, much like hockey, where there's a lot of talking going on, and you can't see it, through the TV.
It's 12-8, Hopkins in the lead. 9 minutes remaining in regulation play as Zach Thornton has the ball at the top of the box, and Loyola is feeding it around. Thornton over to the far side. Here on the near side, ball to Mark O'Brien in the feed, and then a shot and a goal as Loyola gets another one. This one by Georgalis, his 3rd of the game.
Yeah, Georgalis really finishing with some authority. O'Brien with the assist. O'Brien's also had a nice game. You know, Georgalis reminds me of an attackman who played for Loyola named Chris Colbeck. You know, just a strong right-handed attackman, really predominantly a shooter. And we've seen Georgalis now score his goals just by being in the right place at the right time and finishing his opportunities. He hasn't missed the net, and Marcus only has 1 save against him. Loyola, as you said, Jim, they're still hanging in there. They're down by 3.
That was a beautiful feed, too. Georgalis getting into the net for his 3rd of the day. The assist was Mark O'Brien, who himself has scored twice. Here come the Blue Jays, and there's a shot by Peter Jacobs, the sidewinder that takes off over the crossbar.
He can let it go. That lanky frame, he's got a lot of leverage behind the ball, much like Reardon, and when he gets his weight behind it, you're either going to be hit with that shot as a goalie or it's going to go in the goal.
There's Picola's left-handed shot that's out of bounds, and Hopkins' ball.
The speed involved, there's just no way you're going to be able to react to make that save.
I think it was Mike Preston who wrote a very nice article in the Sun paper, the Baltimore Sun, about Peter Jacobs.
Yeah, and Jacobs is, truthfully, knowing him, he's one of the finest and nicest and most personable guys on this Hopkins team. He's always in a good mood, and he's a pleasure to talk to, and it's nice to see him having a great senior season.
Here's Picola. Woo. He very nearly got away with one there. Volpe coming up with the ball for Loyola. Greyhounds down by 12-9 as they try to see if they can get one here. Whistle.
That'll be a timeout. Dave Cottle calling a timeout. He realized that his long stick player, Jamie Hanford, was about to be double teamed, so he maintains possession there by using a timeout.
Hopkins maintaining a 12-9 lead here at Homewood Field over Loyola with Terry Reardon with the ball. 3 minutes remaining. Piccola. Here's Brian Piccola trying to work his way for a shot, but Brendan Fry will have none of it, so he passes it off to Dave Marr behind the goal. Marr being covered by Chris Lloyd. Marr breaks left. Can't get the shot away. Picked off by Loyola's Matt Dwan. And obviously Loyola's got to get something going real quick here. Down by 3 goals with 2.5 minutes remaining. So there is a move by Dwan to get it in behind the goal. And a whistle.
Another timeout taken by Dave Cottle. Loyola down by 3, 2:20 to go.
2:20 left with Hopkins leading by a score of 12-9 over Loyola. What strategy will you expect from the Blue Jays here when they get control of the ball?
Well, if they get control of it, they're just going to work the ball around. They're going to take their short sticks behind the goal and kill some time. Loyola's got the ball right now. Look for a couple things. Look for either a Zach Thornton isolation or number 14, Del Halliday, on a right-handed cut.
Meantime, Duffy has the ball behind the goal. Van Horn covering him. Duffy's looking for someone to pass off to. Now they try to weave. Gets a pick back there. Feeds it in front. There's a shot, and there's a goal as Loyola gets exactly the kind of play that I believe you were talking about.
Yeah, it wasn't Halliday. Hopkins did a nice job covering Halliday on the initial cut, but that was Mark O'Brien, who's had really a sensational second half on the feed from Duffy. You'll see he's covered pretty well inside by number 12, Chris Steer, but he manages to catch it and beats Marcus. Loyola only down by 2 now with 2:02 left.
Well, they've got 2 guys now with hat tricks. George Alice has one, and O'Brien now has completed his hat trick.
Big face-off right here. Welsh against Jacobs.
It is indeed. It's a 12-10 game, and 2:02 remaining, and it's getting down to the real nitty-gritty here between Hopkins and Loyola. As you say, big face-off, and the face-off controlled by, well, first of all, it looked like Loyola, but now Hopkins comes up with it, and a blast there. And as they continue to scramble for the ball, Loyola comes away with it. And here they come as Matt Dwan passes off. There's the feed. There's a goal. It is now just a 1-goal Hopkins lead.
Nice fast break by Loyola, and they're celebrating on the far side. This is a textbook fast break. The long stick bringing it down. There's the long stick to the point man down low to Irving. Irvin makes a great pass across the crease to Duffy. The lefty makes sure of that one, and he revs it up there as the fans are going crazy. 12-11, 1:46 to go.
Whoa. We got ourselves a game, that's for darn sure. You talk about important face-offs, here comes another one, and Tom Welsh is out there. Tom Welsh, number 19, to try against Peter Jacobs. And Loyola gets the face-off. Here's the feed ahead, and here comes Dal Holliday. Holliday's feed as Loyola is on the move again, down by a goal with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in this contest.
They had a fast break again. Hopkins did a nice job there, getting in the hole and denying the shot.
Now Pat Irvin passes it off. He tries to get through to Duffy, who just got that goal, and there's a scramble, and Hopkins comes away with the ball over to Marcus, and they get a little breathing space as his long clear finds his man, Peter Jacobs. Jacobs jamming on the brakes as he gets across midfield. 1:10 remaining. He's aware of that. He passes it off to Tom Roscoe. And let's see if they just bide their time here and kill as much of the clock as they can. They'll take the shot if they got one. But here's the whistle. That won't count, of course. Let's see what the whistle's going to be.
It's going to be a timeout. Hopkins. You know, in that last possession, one of the keys was that Loyola didn't have a timeout left. And Coach Cottle couldn't stop the clock.
Well, Quint, as you know, hockey has a strategy where they will pull a goalkeeper, and Loyola has something, I guess, or not Loyola, but Lacrosse has something comparable.
Yeah, keep your eye on McGeaney here. 57 seconds left. He might come out of the goal to double team. Loyola down by 1. They need the ball.
Hopkins with the ball, and this is Piccola with it. Piccola halfway wanting to shoot and halfway wanting to realizing that the idea is to keep control of the ball here with 35 seconds remaining, and Hopkins leading by 1 goal, 12-11. Casey Gordon double teamed. Casey passes off to Milford Marchant. Back to Casey. Now he's trying to race away from Zach Thornton. There's a feed in front, and a shot is wide. As missing an empty net that time, there were the Hopkins Blue Jays, as Billy Evans just couldn't quite pull it off.
Hopkins in the crease, 7 seconds to go. Loyola, no timeouts. They're just going to have to chuck it here and hope for a Hail Mary.
And meantime, one of the Loyola players, Matt Dwan, is down and injured right in front of the goal.
Faking that injury. They want to set up a play.
Dwan is down, injured. The players must stay on the field here. This actually gives Loyola a little time to set up a play. You'll see number 30 for Loyola. Stan Ross will probably come in and substitute for Dwan.
So it's come down to the final 7 seconds of regulation with Hopkins leading by a goal. What a furious comeback Loyola has stayed.
Matt Dwan coming out of the
As Matt Dwan looks to be some kind of shoulder or wrist injury. There's a lot of action in front. McGeaney diving, saving Marchant's shot. Marchant steps in the crease. Dwan in obvious pain right now. Here it is, Marchant with the ball. Watch McGeaney. That ball might even hit the pipe, and you can see right there late is Dwan getting tangled with Marchant. Right now.
Here's that long clear attempt. Picked off by Hopkins. A great job there by Tom Roscoe, and he sends it down the field and is all over at Homewood.
11.
Well, certainly the most exciting game that it's been our privilege to work this year. And it was a hold-on-for-dear-life situation for the Blue Jays as Loyola took a run at them in the 4th quarter, came within 1, and that was it.
Yeah, Hopkins surrounding their goalie, John Marcus. Outstanding game for Marcus. And if you're Loyola College, you finished the season 10-3. But I think you can use this game positively for your first-round playoff game, because Loyola certainly showed a lot of guts in the 4th quarter.
So they sent messages to one another today, if you will. And the Loyola Greyhounds rally falls short. Hopkins wins at 12-11.
Everyone has the...
So Hopkins outlasts Loyola 12-11. This game was brought to you in part by the deal makers from the Heritage Auto Group, Owings.